ladies and gentlemen, it's just such a privilege to be here, and thank you to the NAS Foundation for inviting me. I'm also very conscious that it's at a very special time. The Iftar breaks a fast. At the centre of many of our spiritualities is fasting, and the fast enables us to stand back from the immediate, and so much of our life is defined by the immediate, the short term. And there is a sense in which when we fast, we have that opportunity to stand back and to reflect on God, and to reflect on those things that are bigger than our immediate, and that eternal nature of God. And there is a sense for me that as we come together, we have that broader perspective. And that perspective is reflected in this room, a perspective of diversity. And I've lived for some time in London, but have left for seven or 8 years. And one of the great joys for me coming back to London is to come back to its diversity. It is something that I have missed. And it's that diversity of race, the diversity of religion, and that diversity of culture. And there is something in that diversity that we need to celebrate and to be proud of in London, because we do live alongside each other. But the reality is that we need to be conscious that living alongside each other of different religions is not always straightforward. And often those challenges for us come in our misunderstandings of each other. And therefore the opportunity for interfaith dialogue is that actually we can gain an understanding of each other. We can gain an understanding of what we have in common, because there is a sense for me that I believe we have more in common than divides us. But we also understand what is different and unique about our different faiths. And it's important for us to know that, around where our differences are. And the reality is that some of those differences will not always be straightforward. We will not always agree. But our challenge is in getting to know each other. We may disagree in love. And when we do disagree, we do it in a way that is gracious and respectful and loving of one another. There is for me a sense that of people of faith, we hold a real opportunity to strengthen this city. That by us coming together and understanding about our differences and our strength is not only good for us as individuals, because we will be richer for it. It is not only good for our faiths, because each of our faiths will be richer for it, but it will be better for London, and London will be richer for it. And there is a sense that we come together, we hold the opportunity to strengthen the city that is already strong, that we can create communities that have a greater resilience about them, a greater compassion, and a greater love. And one of the things for me about coming here today is because of you. The room is full of young people. You know the potential for your future. You are people who have different visions of a world. You understand the possibilities that lay before you. You don't see the obstacles, but you see the opportunity and the chances. And therefore there is something for us to learn from you, to know that our future is a future of possibilities and not obstacles. And the fact that as we speak together, we can find new opportunities. And one of the things I have reflected on is that we can often have grand visions, but the reality is that grand visions usually occur because of the small steps that are taken. And I've often reflected that the biggest difference in the world are often taken with ordinary, small and simple steps. So today itself, as the Iftar, is a small step. You have chosen to be here and to give of your time. And that is a small step, but it has an enormous impact, not just on you, but on us and on our communities. And as I have been in London for the last few months officially, I have begun to meet people of different faiths, and I have begun to reflect on those small steps that have made differences. And this evening I just want to commend one of them to you, which is the Near Neighbours programme, which is a joint government and Church of England initiative, which has released money to be spent on grassroots social actions. which have begun to transform communities with people of faith and people of no faith. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in Southall in West London, and I met a group of women who had identified the need for a safe space to be able to speak and to talk confidently. So with funding from Near Neighbours, they're a small group of women, some from a church, some from a mosque, and some from Mindra, that came together to arrange counselling training. And having been trained, they set up coffee mornings, advertised it to the local community, and the project, which is called Listening Space, has really taken off. It has become a vital community service within that local community. They have deepened their relationships with one another, they have deepened their trust, and they have begun to think differently, not just about their communities, but about themselves. And they are discovering from themselves something that they gain to increase their confidence of who they are. Simple steps, but make an enormous amount of difference. And for me, today is about those simple steps, taking simple steps to begin to share and open up in dialogue, to be changed by other people of difference, to see our communities different in a different way. At the heart of the Christian faith is the love of God and our need to love our neighbours. We are called to love those around us because God is a God of unconditional love. He isn't somebody who is compelled to love, he loves generously. And therefore for us to reflect that love to each other and to love each other in an unconditioning way. And it means that we have to care for each other, to value our difference and to understand each other. And in doing that, we love not only ourselves and each other, but our communities, those that have a belief in God and those that don't. So small steps that just make an enormous amount of difference. Thank you.